Hello there, it's nice to see you again, and tonight together we're going to be having a quick look at Nndm stock. This is also Nano Dimension stock. So yeah, I had a quick chat basically in the Discord, and I had a quick look and saw that somebody did mention this stock. I took a quick look into it myself, and I did have a quick see that the price has actually increased a lot since October, or even September, where it was even lower, and for those reasons we're going to have a quick look at it tonight. Please do like and subscribe. There you can see on screen right now, we are trying to get to 1,000. We're on 613. We're obviously over halfway there now, so if you could just support the channel by subscribing, it would be appreciated massively. Obviously, every person who does subscribe is counted and everybody is appreciated. So yeah, if you could just help out on that front, it would not go amiss. On top of that, if you want to come and join us on Discord, like I said, we do now have a chat about Discord where we're going to be talking about all kinds of stocks, so anybody can join. That link is down in the description. Of course, it's completely free and it's a completely friendly environment. So yeah, we got loads of interesting things to talk about tonight about Nndm, Nano Dimension stock. So we're going to start off by having a quick analysis of the price, like I said. So we're going to start off with the previous day. This was in the red, even though Google is saying that it's in the green. No, actually, it was in the green. No, it was in the red. So sometimes Google does actually give some misinformation, so I'm very sorry about that. Obviously, this is for the Friday. So if we have a quick look on the Friday, we started off at $3.70, went all the way up to $3.95. However, from there, we took a dip and then ended up the day on $3.67. Only a small decrease from where we started. However, it was a decrease nevertheless, and it was a relatively volatile day as our stock did take quite a high and then quite a subsequent low. I think if we have a quick look at that as a percentage decrease, it's about 7%, it looks like. So obviously quite the decrease, for a stock on a day. Similarly, when we look at the 1 week, we are red on this stock, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in a moment. But we can see that actually the stock price is going down at the minute. So we started off the price on $4.42. This was on Monday the 9th, and we ended up on the Friday at $3.67. So when we're looking at this as a percentage, it's about 17% lost over the week, or rather the 5-day period. When we look at the 1 month though, we are seeing quite the dip. However, the stock is almost in the green. Actually, it is in the green because even though we saw this high up here, it did start off the month. If we have a quick look, we started off the month on $3.65, ended the month on $3.68. So obviously a very, very small increase there. That's 0.82%. But when we look at the volatility, we've lost 19-20% on the stock. Similarly, we've also lost gained 20% in a week. So obviously the stock price is very volatile over the past month. That's what we can tell from this. But nevertheless, when we look at the 6-month period, the stock is actually up. So when we look from September 2020 to the current month of November, we are seeing an increase of about 170%, which does beg the question, is it going to continue? And is this a stock which you should buy? So what I've done is I've got a few different sources and a few different pieces of information which are going to kind of form your, everything you need to know about this stock video on this one. So we're going to start off by looking at what the company actually does. Now, do forgive me if I'm wrong with this one, but from what I can tell from the website, they are basically, a company around printing and things like that, and generally fabrication and other kind of services around that. But when we have a quick look on the website, we can see a lot about fabrication and whatnot, and obviously we can understand what that means, and we can understand how when 3D printing does become even more advanced than what it already is, this is an emerging and growing market. And because of, obviously when the technology does increase, there's so many more uses for it than there is now, or even than there has been in the past 5 years. So obviously looking into the long-term future, as this technology does progress and advance, this could potentially be a great company to look at. So for a long-term view, this is why, when we're taking this approach, it could potentially be a great company, even though the price has been dropping over the past month or so. So yeah, we've got a few other pieces of information when we look on is it CNN? Sorry, no, it's finance.yahoo, so it's obviously Yahoo Finance. And when we have a quick look there, we can see that the stock price basically opened on $3.64, like I said, closed on $3.58. So obviously we can see there the decrease and the gain, and the range, sorry, is between $3.60 and $3.95. So of course, kind of a significant range. Are they going to give us any financials? Yes, fortunately they have, and we can see figures around revenue. So revenue was 5,210 this year. That's down from 7,070 last year. However, it's important to consider this figure was taken on the 12th of the 31st. So obviously that's the 31st of December, the last day of the year. And obviously this year is only in November so far, so we'll have to wait until the end of the year to see how this one does go. However, it is up from the 2018 record still, so of course when we do get to the end of the year, we'll have a better and more in-depth detail looking at what this means for the company. So of course we could still beat last year's revenue figure of 7,070, but we'll just have to see. So gross profits for this year are currently at 1,469.96. Sorry, that's actually down again from the previous 1,986. Like I said, the year is not over. However, the figure is only like 300 or 400 below what it was last year. So of course we got about 1 or 2 months to go until the end of the year, but I think it's still possible that this company could match last year's target. And honestly, with everything that's happened this year, if it can do that, if it can match the target, or if it can even come close to the target, it does kind of show, in my opinion, that this is kind of a strong company, as we have had quite the volatile year around all stocks and all companies and all ways of life. So subsequently, if this company can, carry on to increase even through this year, or even stay where it is, I would say, that's credit to them, good things to see. So of course, another important figure is, if it's on here, was the fact that the earnings were out recently. They were out on the 12th of November. So if we want to take a quick look at these earnings and what they mean, we can see revenue was 439,000. The net income was also negative at minus 20 million and 7,200,000. So that kind of didn't make sense with the way that I said it, but you can understand what this means. This was in September, so these are September figures. And when we have a quick look at these Q3 earnings, we can see they were actually underperforming. So the EPS was actually missed by minus 462.5%. So of course, that is probably one of the reasons why the stock price is negative at the minute, as that's kind of bad news, but obviously for the long term it's not necessarily that important, so we'll just have to see how this one goes on. So unfortunately we don't have a forecast on CNN.com, but what we can see is some other figures around earnings per share and sales revenue. So of course this is reporting on the 18th of March. So we can see earnings per share were slightly negative. They were at $0.09 or 9 cents. Sales were positive at 1.4 million. Nice to see. So of course great figures for the company. So looking at what the analysts are saying, I think the whole idea is that the growth is going to continue as it has done for the previous few quarters. So of course, if it can do that, great thing to see. So yeah, there's a quick rundown, and I'm just going to give my opinion on this stock. I would say yes, potentially this is a great company for the long term, hold the stock potentially for years to come, especially after we have seen this huge increase in the past month or so of over 100%. But when we're looking at huge growth, I mean, yes, this stock could take off if there are a few catalysts in the future, but at the minute, with the earnings already been reported, I can't really see any catalysts coming up for this one at the minute. So, if you are going to buy it, just don't expect any huge growth, in my opinion. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please do leave a like and subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.